you don't have something like everybody else, if you're saying we're different, why do you sound like everybody else? Surprise! On Monday Morning Mojo, you're probably accustomed to seeing typed letters going across the screen. But I wanted to take a minute here to actually offer you something different. Because, hey, if I don't shake it up, what kind of mojo is that? So it came down to this. Sometimes people say, so what is this thing, branding, blah, 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 blah. Branding has become one of those terms where people hear branding and some people think of a logo. People hear branding and some people think of personal branding and all this kind of stuff. And what branding does is this. And this is what I do. I work with companies of all different sizes. So no matter what type of company you have, if you are geared for growth, if you are ready to hit it out of the ballpark and really be heard in the world, that's what I help you do. I do that through really establishing, why should anybody care about your brand? Why? What's the most compelling reason? It can't just be features, because everyone else is going to have features too. So if features aren't going to get you there, what's going to be the thing that actually gets you there? What's going to be the thing that moves the dial? And that's the question that I really have for you. What is the thing that's going to move the dial? And the thing that's going to move the dial is your point of difference. How are you unlike everyone else? How are you not just one more option, but actually offering something of such irresistible value and distinction that you are seen as the leader, possibly and ideally in your own category? So I work that out. I work out how you get to be heard. I work out how you get to be seen. I work out the language, the story, so that you're not talking like everybody else. If you don't have something like everybody else, if you're saying we're different, why do you sound like everybody else? That becomes the question. So the thing you want to do is really stand apart. The thing you want to do is work out how to be different, because if you're better, that means you're incrementally still in the same category as everyone else. Do you want to be in the same category? Just like, hey, we're better than them. That means that gives your competition the benefit of saying that they're actually in the same league as you. Wouldn't you rather want to be in your own league? That's the question that I have for you. Because I will tell you, the greatest benefit that I can do for you, the greatest benefit that I can do for your brand, is give you the right voice, the right language, the right message, the right brand in terms of design, look, and feel, so that you do not look like anyone else, you do not walk like anyone else, you do not talk like anyone else. And that's what I do. I applied this exact principle, and this is all covered in my book, Brand Intervention, but I applied this to a city, and within 12 months, they saw a 500% increase in walk-in tourism. Using the same medium, by the way. We did not introduce new mediums. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to put them on all these different social channels, different stuff like that. It was actually using the same mediums, but now they're actually saying things that were relevant and that moved the dial. Did the same thing for a chocolatier. Within 30 days, they saw a 300% increase. Get the idea that prior to that, they could have been doing, for the prior year or two, they could have been tripling the amount of revenue that they had had, but they were leaving that on the table. They were leaving 2/3 of the revenue on the table because their value and clarity of what they were offering was not made clear. I've done the same for, I took a software company. So it applies to companies at all different echelons, whether they're boutique, technology, health and beauty, whatever. It does not matter, because here's the deal. What matters is you are talking to a person who is making a decision. You are bringing someone to the table who is going to make a decision. They're going to make a decision either for their business, they're going to make a decision for their personal needs, they're going to make a decision, and you, with your story, correctly actually orchestrated and correctly designed, correctly having the right look, so that it looks the same value that you're saying you are. You don't show up at a meeting with people at the Four Seasons in rags, right? You show up properly dressed. You look the part. And so that's what I do, is I give you the right language, the right look, the right feel, all of those components, so that you really stand apart. And that is what I do. I like to say that I actually turn wandering eyes and minds into heat-seeking missiles of desire and want. You really can change people's minds with the right branding. You really can impact action. You can actually make them want your product, make them want your service, make them want what you are offering, and really make them almost feel obsessed with it by just having the right approach and asking the right questions. And, very important, remembering There's a whole bunch of stuff that gets trimmed. There's a lot of fat, a lot of crap that just adds noise to your dialogue, noise to your message, noise to everything you're saying and doing. And it does not add to the clarity and succinctness to get your message across. That is basically what I do. So if you've been pigeonholed as a brand, if you've been misunderstood, if you're spending a lot of time explaining and clarifying, no, we're not that, we're this, you're off brand. You're not clear. You need to be clear. Your offering needs to be absolutely vital. I will tell you, and the thing I was going to say a little bit earlier, I took a tech company, startup, just 8 years ago, and they ended up recently having an $821 million valuation, and now they're a unicorn. And if you don't know what unicorn is, in the tech world in Silicon Valley, that means it's $1 billion valuation. They went from 0 to $1 billion in about 8.5, 9 years. So there are a lot of right things that they did, but they had the foundation. And if you don't believe me, I'll actually put a link to actually hearing what the CEO, what my client actually had to say about this, because it's great when we work together. We create a collaborative synergy that actually results in just some amazing stuff. I will tell you for a fact, your proximity to your brand is killing your brand. Your knowledge about your brand is killing your brand. There's the stuff that you know that's going to be really useful. And then there's the stuff that you're so close to it, you've almost eclipsed the actual recipient, the receipt point, which is your audience. Like, what do they give a damn about? They don't know all the technical nuances or the little subtleties or this and that, the other that you love over and you've sweated over and you've bled over. They don't know that, nor at that point do they care about it. Because the pathway to your client's door starts at their front door. And at their front door, the thing that's most real to them are problems, their problems, not your pitch, not the great breakthrough that you've made. They're not there yet. They have a journey to go through, and that journey starts at their front door, which is their problems, and it walks, and eventually arrives at, wow, and they've got clarity on their problems, how it's impacting their lives, how it's impacting their business, how it's actually making things less than desirable, and then that leads to your front door, which is you stating, and by the way, we've addressed this. We share your pain because we also have the same aspirations as you do, and now this is what we're doing, and this is what we have created. How does that sound to you? That's the kind of dialogue you have with them. But there's a pathway, you see. There's a GPS, goes from where you are to the destination point. The destination point being you and your potential customer, your prospect, going and saying, I want that. And that's the kind of message, and that's the kind of journey you want to take. It's a journey of transformation, because no one's buying your stuff, no one's buying your services. That's not the stuff they care about. The stuff they care about is the transformation. The transformation is the gold. And I hope that that clarifies a little bit, and that brings you a little more on this Monday Morning Mojo. Okay? I hope this starts for you an amazing, amazing week.